Krishna
T.M. Krishna is many things to many people. An exceptional singer, a prolific writer, and a passionate activist. But to his conservative critics, he's someone stirring unnecessary controversy and diluting Carnatic music.
இப்போ சபால கச்சேரி கேட்கறது வேற, நீங்களே சொல்லுங்க. கோயில்ல கச்சேரி கேட்கறது வேற சார், பீச்ல கச்சேரி கேட்கறது வேற, ஊரு ரோல்காட் கூப்பத்துல கச்சேரி கேட்கறது உங்களுக்கு வேற மாதிரி இருக்கும்.
For every person who admires him, there's another who strongly disagrees with his views.
சங்கீதம் வந்து ஒரு கட்டி காப்பாத்த வேண்டிய ஒரு பொக்கிஷம்.
But this year has been particularly tough for Krishna, with boycotts, court cases, and outrage from a large part of Chennai's Carnatic music community. So what's going on? How has T.M. Krishna tried to reform and democratize the classical art space? And why does he face fierce opposition from conservatives? Let's find out. If we want real change in classical arts, we need to tackle the biases that have been around for ages and challenge the old norms holding it back. In 2018, as the Me Too movement created waves in India, some of the biggest names in the Carnatic world were also questioned. TNM, I can proudly say, was at the forefront of covering these stories. And that's why you should support independent journalism that's willing to ask the tough questions. Subscribe to the News Minute and News Laundry today. T.M. Krishna is no stranger to controversies, but this year he's faced more criticism and resistance than usual. The uproar was over the Sangita Kalanidi award given to him. The Madras Music Academy announced Krishna as the awardee earlier this year, and what followed was a wave of backlash, particularly from upper caste Brahmin Carnatic musicians. Now let's be clear, the outrage wasn't about Krishna's musical talent. His politics is what riled people up. Critics accused him of disrespecting M.S. Subbulakshmi, after whom a cash prize tied to the award is named. They pointed to his past comments, including a 2017 speech where Krishna praised her artistry, but also questioned whether she would have been celebrated the same way had she not distanced herself from her Devdasi roots. In March, the Madras Music Academy, a century-old institution that patronizes performing arts, announced TMK as its recipient of the award. It's been given annually by the Academy since 1942. M.S. Subbulakshmi herself won it in 1968. After her passing in 2005, the Hindu group instituted a separate cash prize in her name, giving it to the winner of the Sangita Kalanidi award every year. This year, Krishna's selection sparked backlash. His rhetorical question in 2017, asking if MS's voice came from a dark, non-upper caste singer, would have been celebrated the same way, triggered anger from a section of musicians, particularly Brahmin musicians who absurdly accused him of caste bias. The objection is against his outspoken anti-caste stance and a critical view of Brahminical dominance in the classical arts. The controversy escalated when Subbulakshmi's grandson filed a petition opposing Krishna's award. He argued that Krishna's values clashed with that of Subbulakshmi and even quoted her will, which explicitly said that she didn't want memorials or awards in her name. Krishna denied making any vile or scandalous remarks, clarifying that his writings had been misrepresented. He emphasized his admiration for Subbulakshmi, citing articles where he praised her impact on his own music. But the Madras High Court ruled that the Hindu group which sponsors the cash prize must stop presenting it in Subbulakshmi's name. The second objection raised was that he had boycotted the Sabha, so he should not be invited to preside over it. In 2015, Krishna announced that he'd no longer perform at the Sabhas during the Madras music season, one of the country's biggest cultural events and a highly sought-after stage for Carnatic musicians. The Sabhas refer to a network of various organizations that patronize and conduct kacheris or concerts. And Krishna said that the festival has lost its soul and has become NRI-driven and lacked diversity. The thing is, the Sabhas function as the nucleus of the Carnatic music genre. The domination of Brahmins in the field is almost absolute. Both the performers and the audience at the Sabha have been exclusively Brahmins. Demands to reform regarding caste bias, sexual harassment, or any other marginalization has been met with stiff resistance. The thing about T.M. Krishna is, he's not just performing music, he's using it as a tool for social change. In 2018, 2 of Krishna's concerts were cancelled following online abuse and threats from Hindutva groups. The first was at a temple in the US, and the second was organized by the Airports Authority of India. Both cancellations were prompted by Krishna's support for fellow Carnatic musicians who were criticized for performing Christian hymns in Carnatic style. Krishna, in response, had announced that he would release a Carnatic composition on either Jesus or Allah every single month. Despite the cancellations, supporters stepped in to host alternate performances for Krishna, including a Washington concert and a Delhi event facilitated by the then Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia. In 2020, Krishna's book Sebastian and Sons sparked controversy by highlighting the role of Dalit Christian artisans in crafting of the mridangam. Krishna pointed out how Dalits are ostracized for working with cowhide or consuming beef, but ironically, the mridangam, which is the main percussion instrument in Carnatic music, enjoys the status of classical instrument. The Kalakshetra Foundation cancelled the book launch, calling it controversial, but the event was later hosted at the MS Subbulakshmi Auditorium of the Asian College of Journalism. When sexual harassment allegations surfaced against a Kalakshetra employee, Krishna criticized the institute for mishandling the entire issue. One of the accused was musician Ravi Kiran, who denied the allegations. And when Krishna was awarded the Sangita Kalanidi Award in 2024, Ravi Kiran, in protest, returned his own award from 2017. Krishna's activism is rooted in the belief that Carnatic music and classical dance spaces have long been dominated by privileged castes and classes in terms of performers and audiences, as well as what can be sung in the Carnatic form. He's been breaking these barriers by making Carnatic music more accessible, taking it to unexpected places like buses, churches, and beaches, creating a more inclusive cultural experience. But many conservatives believe that opening the doors would dilute the art form. Listen to what musician Sudha Raghunathan, who likens Carnatic music to a temple's Garbhagriha, asserting that not everyone has a right to enter, has said about it.
கர்நாடக சங்கீதம்ன்றத பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் இப்ப எப்படி நாம ஒரு கோவில்ல போய் ஒரு கர்ப்பகிரகத்துல நீ உள்ள போயிட முடியுமா? போக முடியாது. சில அம்மன் கோயில்கள்ல நீங்களே போய் அபிஷேகம் பண்ணலாம். எல்லா கோயிலையும் நாம என்ன பண்றோம்? ஒரு ஸ்டேஜுக்கு மேல ஒரு கட் ஆஃப்.
Ranjini and Gayatri, another prominent duo, have compared Carnatic music to the theory of relativity, claiming it's simply beyond the reach of most people. They dismiss Krishna's anti-caste stance as mere lip service and question the caste composition of his own ensembles. While it's true that many of Krishna's co-performers do come from privileged castes, he's also brought in musicians from diverse backgrounds who were previously excluded from the Carnatic stage. For example, after boycotting the Sabha, Krishna started performing and organizing festivals in fishing villages like the Urur Olcott Kuppam in Chennai. He was also at the forefront of producing the Chennai Porambokku Padal, a song addressing land encroachment at Ennur Creek. Krishna has also performed Carnatic music with Jogapas, a transgender community from the border areas of Karnataka, Maharashtra and Telangana, known for their deeply devotional singing tradition. Krishna has performed at churches in Mumbai, including the Afghan church and a synagogue. He performed in Jaffna, a war-torn city in Sri Lanka, and engaged with Tamil students there. Krishna has also brought the poetry of Perumal Murugan to the concert stage. Murugan is a Tamil writer known for his controversial works exploring caste, identity, and rural life. Now, more recently, Krishna has been supporting the Grants Project by the Sumanasa Foundation, which aids artists from marginalized communities. His activism extends beyond music. In the wake of the controversial Citizenship Amendment Act, that's the CAA, Krishna became an outspoken critic of the law. To express his solidarity, he used his music, performing the Urdu song Hum Dekhenge that was widely used in the anti-CAA protest in multiple languages, including Tamil and Kannada, to convey his dissent. Although T.M. Krishna has gained significant support outside the classical arts community, many of his peers have remained silent. This collective silence is a familiar tactic to pressure those with liberal views into conformity. The boycotts and lawsuits targeting Krishna aren't just about him. They're meant to intimidate anyone who might be inspired to follow his example. It's part of a larger battle over who gets to shape the future of classical arts. Love him or hate him, one thing is certain. T.N. Krishna has shaken up the world of Carnatic music, and his work has sparked important conversations about privilege, inclusivity, and the future of arts. So what do you think? Is T.M. Krishna a polarizing figure, or is he exactly the kind of change the classical arts needs? Do tell me what you think. You can write to me at pooja@thenewsminute.com. Before I go, let me remind you that if you are somebody who speaks or understands Tamil, then you must follow my colleague Shabir Ahmed's work. He heads our Tamil Nadu Bureau, and you must follow his weekly show Yen Endru Kelvi on the News Minute Tamil YouTube channel.